Hello students, welcome in today's lecture. And in previous lecture we have seen the two properties of the living organisms, that is the growth and the reproduction. We have seen that these both growth and reproduction properties are not the defining properties, because the growth can be found in the non-living organism, and the example we have seen that the mountain, boulders, sand mound, they also show the growth. And reproduction is also not a defining property, because this reproduction cannot occur in all living organisms. There are some exceptions, and that exceptions are the mules, the sterile worker bee, and the sterile human couple. These living organisms cannot show reproduction at all. So both these properties are not the defining properties. Now today we are going to see the next defining property, or we say that the next property of the living organism, and that is called as the metabolism. Then what is meant by metabolism? The definition of this metabolism is that metabolism means the sum total of all the reactions which occur inside the body of living organism, that we call as a metabolism. Metabolism is, the definition is here, sum total of all the reactions which occur inside the body of living organisms, that we call as a metabolism. That means in every living organism, maybe unicellular or the multicellular, each organism carry out the number of chemical reaction inside their body, and the sum total of all these reactions together we call as a metabolism. This metabolism, as here we told that this include the chemical reaction. That means the body of every living organism is made up of the chemicals. Maybe that chemicals are carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, minerals. All the chemicals together form the body of the living organism. And the chemicals which made the body of living organism, that chemical may be small in size, large in size, they may belong to the different function, they may belong to the different classes, or there are the variation in that chemical. That means all the chemicals which made the body of living organism are not of the same type. There are some reactions taking place which are also interconvertible. What is meant by interconvertible? See here, suppose this is one chemical molecule which is present in the body of living organism. This chemical molecule gets converted into the another chemical molecule. This chemical molecule then again converted into the next chemical molecule, and there may be happen like that this chemical molecule again gets converted into this previous molecule. That means there is an interconversion of these molecules. One molecule get converted into another molecule again may get converted into the previous molecule. That is, there is an interconversion also takes place in between these chemicals which made the body of the living organism. Now these chemicals which make the body of living organism, they are very complex one. That means what? The chemical reaction which takes place in the body of this living organism, that we call as a metabolism. See here, these metabolism are of the two types. One is called as the anabolic reaction, and another one is called as the catabolic reaction. Anabolic and catabolic reaction. This point is not given in the NCERT. That is, metabolism is of two types, anabolic reaction and the catabolic reaction. Then what is meant by anabolism and what is meant by catabolism? Anabolic means the constructive reactions, while the catabolism means the destructive reactions. That means in the anabolic reaction, which is the type of the metabolic reaction, which is the type of metabolism, in the anabolic reaction there is a new molecule get formed, new molecule gets synthesized. For example, if we see the process of photosynthesis, in the process of photosynthesis, you know that there will be formation of the carbohydrates in the plant in the form of starch or the glucose. These carbohydrates are formed by the raw material which are present in that process, and thus the new molecule, new carbohydrate, new starch, new glucose molecule are formed, and that process is called as the anabolic reaction, because there is a new molecule get constructed, get synthesized, so it is called as a constructive process or the anabolic process. But the catabolism is called as the destructive process, because in this process there will be destruction of the molecule, breakdown of the molecule. The best example is that I am standing here and I am giving the lecture to you, so I require the energy, and this energy is given to me by the glucose molecule. How these glucose molecule which are present in my body, they are breaking down, and by the release of energy I can perform my lecture. That means the energy which I require is given by the breakdown of this glucose molecule in my body. So breakdown of the glucose molecule is called as the catabolic reaction, while the synthesis of the carbohydrate in plant during the process of photosynthesis is called as the anabolic reaction. So this anabolism and catabolism is the two important parts of this metabolic reaction, and metabolism nothing but the sum total of all the reactions which takes place in the body of living organism. This metabolism can be seen from the unicellular to the multicellular organism, or we may say that it is found from the primitive prokaryote to the complex eukaryotic cell. Now the question is that is the metabolism is the defining property, because one example is given in the NCERT that when anyone carry out this metabolic reaction in a test tube or in a glass jar or in a simple glass outside the body of living organism, then whether that reaction of the metabolic which takes place outside the body is living or non-living. So the reaction which is carried out outside the body of living organism, that we call as a in vitro reaction. In previous lecture I have told you that in vivo and in vitro. In vivo means inside the body of living organism, and in vitro means outside the body of living organism. That means the reaction which is carried out inside the test tube in a controlled environmental condition outside the body of living organism, that reaction is neither living, I will correct my sentence, that process is neither living nor non-living thing. The reaction that is we carried out in the test tube, and that test tube and all the process, we say that that thing is neither living nor non-living. But definitely the reaction which takes place in that test tube is the living reaction, because no any non-living organism can show the metabolism. Only the living organism show metabolism. So even though that reaction taking place in the test tube outside the body of living organism, but surely that is the living reaction. So the metabolism is the first property which we call as a defining property. Which we call as a defining property, because it is only found in the living organism. Whether we carry out it outside the body of living organism, but surely it is only present in the living organism. Not a single non-living thing shows the metabolic property. Okay, so this is the first defining property of the living organism. Again keep in mind why we call it as it is only defining property, not previous two properties we call as a defining, because these properties are not shown by any non-living organism. It is shown by only the living organism. Okay, next property is the cellular organization. Cellular organization means what? In the first lecture of the introduction to biology, we have seen that the basic unit of life of every living organism is the cell. That means each living organism, when we call it as a living, then it is made up of only the cells. Not a single non-living thing is made up of the cell. So we call as a cell as a basic unit of life, and this cell make the body of that particular organism. Okay, so these living organism whose body is made up of only the cell, not any living non-living organism is made up of cell. So again the cellular organization is the next defining property of the living organism, because not any non-living thing shows the presence of cell. Only living organisms are shows their body is made up of cell. So next to the metabolism, cellular organization is the another important property which we call as a defining property. Why? Because the living organisms are made up of only the cells, and that's why cellular organization we call it as a defining property. Okay, do you understand what I said? Why we call as both these properties are defining and why these two properties are not defining? So you will get the clear cut idea of why it is defining and why it is not defining. Now the next property of the living organism that we call as a consciousness. Consciousness means what? Consciousness is that property of the living organism by which living organism can give response to their surrounding or to their environment. Or we may say that the consciousness is a property by which living organism can aware of their surrounding or can aware of their environment. That means in nature there are various stimuli is given to every living organism. What is meant by stimuli? Stimuli means some kind of the signal, some kind of the force, some kind of the physical or chemical or the biological signals are given to the living organism, and immediately that living organism gives a response to that signal. That signal may be physical, chemical or the biological, and that we call as a stimuli, which is given by our environment, which is given by our surrounding, and to this stimuli we use immediately response. We means every living organism including the human being, and that's why it is called as a consciousness. That means every living organism is aware of their surrounding, is aware of their environment. See, for example, if we see the plants, plant can give response to the stimuli of the environment. And which stimuli this plant get? For example, water, temperature, then we say that pressure. There are different environmental factors are there. For these environmental factors, plant gives a response, and that we call as a consciousness of that plant. That plant gives response to the water, temperature, pressure, near around different factors around it, and that factors are called as a stimuli, and plant immediately gives a response to it, that is called as the response. For example, one more phenomenon is there that is called as a photo period. Photo means light and period means duration. Photo means light and period means duration. That means photo period is the duration of the light, and there are some seasonal breeders like plants and animals which gives response to this photo period, Then what is meant by seasonal breeders? I say that there are some seasonal breeders which include the plants and animals. They use response to this photo period. Photo period means what? These plants or these animals particularly breed or shows reproduction at a particular duration of the light. When that duration comes, they breed, and after completion of their breeding, that duration finish. That means they gives a response to this photo period, and this is called as a consciousness of that plant breeder or the animal breeder to this light period. That is called as a photo period. There are number of examples by which we can say that every living organism can give response to their surrounding, to their environment. We can also sense our environment by our sense organ like nose, skin, tongue, ear, eyes. These are our sense organ, and by this our sense organ we can sense our environment, and immediately we give the response by our sense organ. We receive that stimuli and we give response to that stimuli. So awareness, that means the consciousness, is a very important property, and which you will find in all living organisms. So the consciousness is also the defining property, because it is not found in any non-living things. It is found only in all living things, and there is no exception of any living things that which do not show the consciousness. It is found in each and every living organism. Maybe that living organism primitive or maybe well developed. So metabolism is the defining property, cellular organization is the defining property, and the consciousness is also the defining property of the living organism. And the last property of the living organism is called as the self-consciousness. The last property is called as the self-consciousness. Then consciousness and self-consciousness, there is very little difference in between them. Self-consciousness means what? The property. We say that the consciousness means the awareness of our surrounding or the environment, which you will find in every living organism. But the self-consciousness is a property which you can find only in the human being. In the human being only you can find this property, because only the human being is aware of not only the surrounding but also himself. स्वतःबद्दल तो अवेअरनेस आहेच, पण सराउंडिंग बद्दल अवेअरनेस आहेच ह्युमन बिईंगमध्ये, पण त्याच्या स्वतःबद्दल सुद्धा तुम्हाला अवेअरनेस त्यामध्ये पाहायला मिळतो. आणि तो इंटरनल अवेअरनेस असू शकतो किंवा आजूबाजूचा अवेअरनेस असू शकतो. सो सेल्फ कॉन्शियसनेस इज ओनली फाउंड इन the human being, but it is not found in all living organisms. So we cannot say that the self-consciousness is the defining property. One more exception is there, and that exception is that if you see any person which is in coma, that person, when any person is present in coma form or any patient is present in coma, then you will find that his metabolism is going on inside. There is a cellular organization is present, cells are working there, but their brain is not working, and that's why we call as that person in coma having the dead brain. They are having the dead brain. But what I am saying, coma patient has all the living properties inside their body occurring. That is, the metabolism is taking place. Also, there is some organs are working. There will be cellular organization, but that person's brain is dead. Okay, and that's why we call it as a one in the coma. But see here, when the person's brain is dead, then we cannot call him as a living, because self-consciousness or the consciousness is under the control of brain. Brain can give signal to us. Brain have the control over the hormones, and then only our body can give the response to the environment. But here is brain dead. So if brain dead, it cannot work. It cannot give response to different environmental stimuli, and that patient we cannot call as a living one. So it is an exception of the human being to the self-consciousness, and due to which also the self-consciousness is not a defining property. Two reasons are there why the self-consciousness is not a defining property. One reason is that it is found only in the human being, and another one is that this property is, if we say take the example of the coma patient, then this cannot apply there, because coma patient has a dead brain, and dead brain cannot work, cannot give response, cannot give self-consciousness. That's why this property cannot apply to everyone, and so we call it as a not a defining property. Okay, so here we have seen the overall 6 properties, out of which only metabolism, cellular organization, consciousness and self-consciousness are the defining property, because they are strictly found in the living organism, while growth and reproduction are not carried as a defining property. Also self-consciousness is also not a defining property. Now one small thing is that is you will find the interaction of the different molecules in the living organism. That is mean what? See here, in previous lecture I told that cell, tissue, organ and system is there. That means in the living organism, the group of cells together form tissue, tissues form the tissues form the organ, and organ form the system. See here, these tissues are more developed, are more complex than the cells. Organs are more developed, more complex than the tissue, while the system is more complex, more developed than the organ. That means The complexity is from the cell to tissue, tissue to organ, and organ to system. The properties which are present in the tissues are not found in the cell. Properties which are present in organ are not found in tissue. Properties which are present in the system are not you will find in the organ. That means this is the interacting system which you will find in the body of the living organism that we have already seen in the first lecture of our biology. So see here, the last point is that then which organism you call as a living organism. Living organism are nothing but the self-replicating, evolving and the self-regulating system. Living organisms means what? Living organisms are the self-replicating, evolving and self-regulating system. Living organism replication means they can reproduce from the replica of itself. They can get evolved. There is evolution you will find in the living organism, and then there are self-regulating system. They regulate on cell body. They are aware of the surrounding, and thus self-replicating, evolving, and self-regulating. We call it as the living organism. So one important part we have covered here from the living world, that is the properties of the living organism. These all properties are also important from NEET point of view. So you should make the notes of it and keep in mind which properties are defining and which is the not defining. Okay, thank you.